What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joannis or Joe Hatagwa. I'm a Sierra Leonean American living in West Africa. And if you want to know what the last 7 months have been like for me in Sierra Leone, sounds like there's a echo. If in fact you want to know what it's been like, whether I hate it, whether I like it, all of the above, then this is the video for you. Oh, I see. All right, all right. So we're live. We're live on all platforms. I'm testing going live on Instagram through StreamYard. So forgive me if there's an echo, because this is the beta test of going live on StreamYard on Instagram right now. And so I'm gonna sit on this pillow because I'm on a hard chair right now. So if let's see if you guys can actually hear me on Instagram. If you can hear me on Instagram, give me a thumbs up and let me know where you're watching from. And Meyer is here. What's up, in Meyer? Okay, I see how it's working. I'm gonna try to see if I can close out of here and see if I'm still live. The audio from this particular tab is creating an echo, which is not ideal. So let me close this tab and let's hope and pray that Instagram is still I'm still live on Instagram. Okay, so hopefully I'm still live on Instagram. It says I'm still live. Once you're live, you can find your stream at the top of your feed in the Instagram app. Okay, if I'm still live on Instagram, let's see if the comments show up. I don't see the Instagram comments, and I actually don't see Instagram here. Am I still live on Instagram? I actually don't know if I'm still live on Instagram. No idea now. All right. So I know I'm live on YouTube. You guys can see me on YouTube. I don't know if I'm live on Instagram still. Let me do a quick check on Instagram. I did do a attempt to go live on Instagram through the feature that they have on StreamYard. So StreamYard just launched the ability to go live on Instagram. So I'm looking at Instagram on my phone to see if I actually am live there. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. I just had set this. Because the comments should be showing up here and they're not. So it looks like there were some technical difficulties going live on Instagram, unfortunately. Yeah, that didn't work because there was two different audios, so I had to close the tab. I didn't know how to mute it, but maybe let's see if I can figure it out again. Give me a second, guys. Let's see if we can back live on Instagram. Let me just check to see. I don't think I'm live on Instagram. Where are you guys watching from? Let me know where you're watching from. Give me first of all, I know that you guys can hear me because you gave me a thumbs up. Dan Diablo's here, Manilek's here, Bunting's here. What's up, guys? Where are you guys watching from? Let me know where you guys are watching from. And then I'm also gonna try to do this Instagram thing again. We are learning this live as we go along. So today was the first day I was attempting to go live on Instagram from StreamYard. StreamYard just launched the Instagram capabilities. And so I decided to go live today. And while doing so, it says I'm still live. Am I still live to you guys? You guys let me know. Am I still live on Instagram? I can't see the Instagram comments on StreamYard. Okay, but it looks like I'm still live. Okay, so I am still live. Now, how can I mute this other? Okay, so yeah, you guys could. Okay, so I can't see the comments for some reason on StreamYard, but I got to go back and forth to Instagram, to tab Instagram, so I can see the comments. All right, but where you guys watching from? Let me know where you guys are watching from. I see Kansas City, Missouri. David Charles from Kansas City, Missouri. Um, BDJ is from the VX, New York City. Africa Rules Forever is Pan African from Palm Beach, USA. There is a delay, as I can see, and I can hear the audio in the background. Forgive me, guys, on YouTube. I was on IG and you were live, jumped over here, populating on comments, populating on IG. Okay, so Tamika Bennett, thank you, Tamika, for letting me know. And Tamika's watching from South Carolina. So you jumped over to Facebook. All right, so we're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. We're live on Twitch. Figure out how to mute Instagram so that it's not making too much noise in the background. And I can't figure that out yet. Is there a way to mute a tab? You know, guys, we need IT. we need information technologies here to help me with this. All right. So forgive me, guys, for the all the mishaps. So Amaya's on. Amaya's from Houston. We got Queen. But I'm back. I'm back. We are back. So 7 months in Sierra Leone. How do I feel? Do I hate it? Do I love it? What lessons have I learned so far? Today we're gonna go old school. I wrote down my notes on this piece of paper, so we're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna do my best for and hopefully because as of right now, my internet connection has been iffy, spotty at best. So apologies for that, guys. But thanks, Tamika, for letting me know that I was still live on the IG. And it looks like I have to go back and forth between different tabs to ensure that I can see the comments from IG, which I don't know what that's all about, what it is. Okay, so all right, cool. So let's get into it. There's a lot to cover. And also, Tamika Bennett says, I'm coming to see about the curfew, but those rumors don't seem to be coming true. So at least right now the curfew starts at 12 midnight. So if you're coming, you'll be able to at least be out to events until 12 midnight. My MiFi Afrocell has really been failing me this December. All right, so let's go ahead and share my screen. YOA is in the building. What's up, y'all? I didn't acknowledge you before, but I see you there. What is up? Sorry about that. I missed that. I didn't see. All right. So let's go ahead and share the screen. So we're going to talk today a little bit about um, before we get into that, there are a lot of new people joining, and it's important for me to go through who it is and what it is that I do, so you know who you're watching, right? So if you haven't already, like, comment, share, subscribe, share, and turn on post notifications. It's been one of those days, guys. It's been one of those days. Um, so a little bit about what I offer to people and what I do. So one, if you want to move to West Africa, I have consulting for you, specifically Ghana and Sierra Leone. So if you want to move, if you want to visit Ghana, I can help you with hotels, there's concierge services, lifestyle consulting. If you want to move to Ghana, I can help with real estate, business registration, and other residency services. If you are visiting or moving to Sierra Leone, I can help with real estate, visiting, and the process to move to Sierra Leone. There's a lot that I can do. Either myself or my partnership can help you with that. Here's some testimonials from some of the consulting that I've done. You know, Anita had some really good things to say. She enjoyed the great things to say. Saba had mentioned that she actually is going to be. We actually ran into each other on a flight on my way here in 2022. Disastrous experience with Air Senegal, and she was on that same flight with me, so it was crazy. But her and I connected recently, and I was able to help her find someone to help her find some land. So it looks like she's purchasing some land very soon, as she says here. Through Joe's contacts, I have located land and that I am in the process of purchasing. And then lastly, I wanted to shout out Aisha Ladan, who shouted me out a couple times. Who should I sell to? What farmer partner with? All the different questions you might have about buying land or renting or building in Sierra Leone. Those are the things that we discussed, and I can. So this image and this video all depicts her appreciation of the services. So shout out to you, Aisha, with the multiple shout outs. I appreciate it greatly. And now you're going to be a part of my lives because you have benefit from the services, of course. Okay, so how to book a consultation, link is in the description. Either it's in the profile description on Instagram. You can just click on the link and then just book a one-on-one consultation. If you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be in the description below. I also have influencer services listed here. We're not going to go through those now. Social media consulting. As you guys know, we're now a little over 289, almost 300,000 followers across all platforms. And so, obviously, being able to build that following, I talk with me about how you can do the same. I can talk to you about how to beat the algorithm, what kind of content to post, how often you need to post, all the things you need to know about each individual platform and how to grow your following. As you can see, if you don't appreciate your following all platforms. YouTube is still growing, but most of the platforms have over 10,000 followers, right? So if you want to figure out how to do that, that is what I can do for you on an hourly basis. Again, link is in the description or in the profile. I also do Instagram promotions, so you can get in front of folks like Taraji P. Henson, who actually commented on a post this year, and she's also a follower of the platform. And then here are the different products that you can purchase in terms of Instagram promotions. If you put a la carte, you want it to a multi-coast pack, or you want it to a combination pack, you can do all of that here. Um, if you want to, you can just email me and I can show you how to get in touch with me and do that. All right. I'm going to now discontinue the presentation and just talk to you guys because there's a discussion that we need to have about what it's like living in Sierra Leone, the good, the bad, the ugly. Those of you who are watching on YouTube or on Instagram, are you guys hearing that feedback? Like, can you guys hear the feedback loop? Let me know. So, Ya says, "What's up?" Abu Bakar says, "Hello, what's up?" Mr. London Boy for Life says, "Hello, hello, Joe. You're doing well." Yes. So, Laura, you can hear it. Okay. And of course, I don't have headphones anywhere nearby so that I can try the feedback. I think I'm just gonna go back live on Instagram. This seems to not be working through the StreamYard app. Also, Tamika Bennett says no feedback, but then Yas says I did, but it stopped now. I think maybe it's just a delay, but the feedback seems to be pretty prevalent. So I think what I'll have to do for future reference is just go live like I used to, or just put headphones in. So apologies for the additional feedback. It's oh man, oh man, oh man. Afrocell is killing me today. Just straight killing me today. I just lost half of you on YouTube because the connection was just so poor. Can you guys hear me now? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. I'm going to try my best to get through this again. This has been a horrible live so far, so I'm sorry, guys. The connection is just that poor. It's really bad. Wow. It's been something we've been dealing with for a little while. A couple of friends have after some saying this. All right, and I can see and hear the feedback. All right. Okay, so Lenore, you said you can hear me. Y'all said you can hear me. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So let's just start with my experience in Sierra Leone, right? How do I feel? Right? Like it's been 7 months now. Next week, actually this coming Sunday would make exactly 7 months. But because I go live on Mondays and Monday is the Christmas holiday for some folks in the audience, I thought I'd probably do a different live on Monday. If I go live on Monday, maybe I'll go live on another day. But basically, let's talk about what my experience has been like the last 7 months. It has been one Um, it's been an experience, definitely an experience. And there's a lot that I've learned in this time being here. There's been a lot of people that I've met, a lot of challenges doing business, and a lot of good things too. And so I want to go through all of it. I'm going to give advice to you who are planning to move or visit. Some of this applies to other West African countries. Most of it applies specifically to West Africa. But I think it's just important to have some of this knowledge and understanding if you're planning to ever make the move. Because those of us who grew up and spent the majority of our lives in the West, there are many challenges that you run into living here in West Africa. And I think it's important to understand these challenges and also to have a solution for some of these challenges. So the first thing I'll say is not all skin folk is kinfolk. And this is definitely something um, this is something that I've heard from people from the South in the United States, and they used to say this a lot. And I really have discovered that here on the continent of Africa. And I don't necessarily mean actually locals in the different countries that I've lived in or visited. I actually mean that in terms of many of the expat or diaspora that moved back. Because different people move back for different reasons. And not only them, but other expat folks who aren't of African descent and who aren't melanated folks. This can also apply to them. So I found that people move here to the continent of Africa for a couple of different reasons. And if there's any that I miss, feel free to put them in the comments. I got four reasons here that I've listed. The first of which is they're running from something, or they've been unceremoniously removed from somewhere. So some people have been deported, or they're running away from a potential criminal case, or running away from potential violence, and or they're running away. Another is people who can't hack it and can't cut it elsewhere and think that they're coming to Africa for an easier life. Um, The third is people that are moving for the right reasons, right? They want to build a business here. They're looking to diversify their interests. They want to see Africa progress, and they want to be a part of this revolution happening on the continent of Africa. And then the fourth, which unfortunately is a lot more of the non-melanated folks who may work for NGOs or might work for these different organizations. And unfortunately, many of them are here for sex tourism. And I'm going to break down these different groups and how to kind of how you determine who's here for what to allow to be in your circle and who you want to be around, right? Knowing these things about, right? What I always like to do is just a general conversation. It's like, like, what do you do? What do you do for a living? And most people, you will find, most people are proud of what they do for a living because most people equate what they do for a living with who they are, right? Especially if they've reached some level of like management or rest of their career, right? They're proud of it. So they generally will express what industry, company, what role they have within that organization. If they say, well, I'm in the business, I'm in the business, what is that? Generally, that's people that are up to they're here for nefarious reasons, up to no good. Um, and generally, those people are potentially running from something. A lot of times, you'll find people who are a bit cagey when it comes to this conversation. They're running from something, and they're trying to do something nefarious, and it's really obvious. So, like, people ask me what I do, right? I have my little elevator pitch. I have a social media agency, and I help people grow their social media following. I run it for them. I also consult, and I'm a content creator, right? number of other things that I do, but these are the things that I do. If I was to say, well, I do a little bit of this, I dabble in a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. As soon as you hear someone say something like that, obviously they're not here for the right reasons, right? And you can decide if you want to have that person around you or not. I choose not, but that's up to you. So that's people either running or here for not such good reasons, right? Two is there are subpar and not being able to hack it elsewhere. So that's where you'll find people who say, I'm a consultant, but don't have a social media following, don't have a website, don't have any clients that you can speak of, and you'll learn that when dealing with people, right? Because honestly, if we're all here, we're here for the right reasons. You want to know what people do because you want to connect that person's product or service with the demand that comes from someone else you might know, right? So you want to dig a little bit to understand what people do so that you can help them get more clients and customers. And then other people who need those products or services, you can connect them with those people, right? As you network and meet other people. So anybody who's kind of like a don't have any services that they can share, obviously they're not really doing anything. And you can also decide if that's worth it for you to continue to build a relationship with them and or continue to introduce them to other people. Now there are some people that are here to reset. And for whatever reason, it's not a negative thing. They needed a reset, they needed a change of environment, they needed something to kind of spark something new for themselves. If that's the case, then there might be someone you could still network with and potentially put them in touch with other people, right? And then next, you have folks that are on the same page as you, right? Like people who are doing what I'm doing, right? Trying to get the word out there, get people to move, invest, or at least visit the continent of Africa. You have other people that are here working for NGOs or nonprofits, and they really do mean well. You have people starting businesses here. You have people doing all kinds of different things to progress the continent, to be a part of this. What I keep saying, this revolution, this industrial and human capital revolution on the continent of Africa. So I need to continue to charge my microphone. So this is kind of the three of the four major groups. And anybody who's doing good deeds or on the right path, they'll let you know if you're proud of it. That's easy. And then last is sex tourism. This is something that I will say I've had to have discussions with people about the behavior, I'll say. And discussions with people who know people maybe that I don't personally know about behavior. And you guys, I can't get too deep into that. Maybe that's a conversation for another time. But you guys move here, you'll see it. You'll see it. In general, that's people who are not melanated, who come here to be able to engage in this practice um, for maybe for a fee that is lower than they may have to spend elsewhere or whatever that might look like. Take advantage of to be able um, to be with people they wouldn't normally be with where they're. And so for me, if I meet those people, I stay away from them. So like when I was in the Gambia, I met a person like that. We were supposed to work together on some business. I completely cut off the relationship. It wasn't for me. I could just see what he was doing, and I wasn't with it. I can't work with someone in good faith, knowing that that's what they're about, right? So I opted out of doing business with that guy. It was fine in some sense. And that happens, right? From time to time, it just that can happen. If it does, you can decide how you want to proceed. That's how I decided. So those are the different types of people. And that I think has a lot to do with your experience, right? If you run into these four different people, you decide of those four people who you want in your circle, who you want around you. Because for me, I'm a very firm believer. It's not about where you are, it's about who you're with. A lot of that determines whether or not you enjoy where you're living. If you have a tribe and you have people who So I have okay. So the next topic I have for you guys is business experiences and issues. For me, overall, I am proud to say that I have a business here with clients now. It took me 6 months to get my first three clients. 6 months, 70 meetings, as I mentioned, um, to get three clients, and yeah, it was a lot of work, and I'm proud to have gotten there. There are other people who you'll find will give you lip service and tell you they want to work with you and they're excited to work with you. And then when the time comes to sign a contract, you send them an invoice, you send them a contract, they go silent. That is a very common thing here. Specifically, I've had this issue here in Sierra Leone. I also had this issue in Ghana where you have people who give you a verbal commit, right? Like as a salesperson, right? If you have a business, you have products or services, and you're dealing with people, you kind of go through this process of filling what you call the sales funnel, right? So at the top of the funnel, right, you're just doing broad outreach. Then the next level, you get meetings. From those meetings, you get a verbal commit. Yes, I want to move forward. And from there, you have the contract stage, right? Then from there, you move on to actually doing the work. For me, before I do the work, though, I prefer to get paid first. So that's something I make mention of to everyone. I actually recommend you get paid before you do any work here. That is for sure a recommendation. And so, yeah, because for example, I've had people go silent on me who haven't even paid me yet. So imagine I started to do the work and then they went silent, and now you feel like you've done all this work, you're chasing after people for the funds. The good thing is, like, look, for me, my team doesn't do the work unless they get paid. So that's a conversation I have with the prospective client to begin with. And so, whether it's the first month or the second month, right? If they haven't paid going in the second month, then work stops. If they haven't paid going into the first month, we don't start the work. And whenever they start paying, is when the work starts, right? So that's one piece of advice I would say. The other thing I would say is persistence and having a thick skin is going to be very, very important because these are kind of the three different groups of people that I have engaged with living here in Sierra Leone. The first is those who have casual arrogance. I like using that phrase, casual arrogance, because that has been an interesting experience. Meeting people who have, because their business has become a big business here, they act as if their business is the biggest, like Fortune 500 company. And I don't think you should act that way, even if your company is a Fortune 500 company. But you will see that there are people here who have casual arrogance, show up late for meetings. They start demanding things instead of requesting things, right? So, like, I have a client right now who, on many occasions, has had to, we've had to, cut the conversation the way it's been going and kind of reframe it to ensure that they understand that be tolerant, right? There are people that will overstep their boundaries because they feel like you work for them. And so, I've had people who insist on doing hour long conversations on Saturday, or people who will be texting you at 10 p.m. or after 11 p.m. or early in the morning, 6 a.m. because they have access to your phone number, right? So I think that leads people to believe that they're above you. There are people that are going to try to lowball you, people who have the funding to pay you what your services require, and still try to lowball you and pay you a quarter or less than what you present, which is ridiculous. I've seen it happen. Actually happened before. So there's a casual arrogance. Second is folks that are not at all qualified for the role. They're in their role because of the relationships they have with senior level leadership in the organization. And sometimes they may be threatened by your knowledge base and the way you work because it will not allow them to continue to be mediocre. So there's an example of this is in the United States. You'll notice there are a lot of people who live in the U.S. people complain about immigrants because they feel like immigrants take their jobs, right? You'll hear people say immigrants, and in general, the immigrants who can take their jobs are people who are better at what you do, harder working in general, and or more resourceful than you are, right? And if that offends you, I'm sorry. That's generally the case, right? And it just happens to be true. And so if that happens there, you better believe it happens. There are people who are very complacent, start their job with the same level of understanding they had when they started it, and they plan to end that job and that career 40 years later with that same level of understanding without growing out. And so that leads to people taking those jobs or what they would feel like is showing them. And so that's one of the challenges that I've run into is talking to different people who do not deserve the role that they're in. And so they have, um, and this is the words of other people, been intimidated by other people who come into the role, right? I want to say that about me. I don't want to say people are intimidated by me, but I do want to say that, obviously, I'm a person who follows up with notes immediately, right? Notes and next steps. I take feedback notes along the meeting, right? I do a Google document that everyone gets access to with all the notes from the meeting. I have an agenda and invite. I'm the type of person who does all of those things. And there are very many people that you'll meet here who do not do those things, who do not even take notes, right? So they walk out of a meeting expecting to remember everything that they talked about in that meeting that will now have been 3 weeks ago. And of course, you can't remember everything that was talked about. You have to take notes. And so those folks, feel threatened by those other folks who come into the picture who do that. And so they may try to lowball you. They may try to tell you, that, hey, we want to work with you, especially if you meet their boss. Now they're in between you and their boss, who's the decision maker, and they'll find ways to sabotage the relationship with you in that business. So you always want to maintain communication with the person that makes a decision. Now, if the person who makes the decisions has those issues, then you're not going to be you're going to have a struggle working with that organization to do business with them, right? And so you're just going to need to know that there can be issues, there can be a struggle, but that is you're just going to have to continue to have consistency and a thick skin. It's not you, it's them, right? That's the thing that I always have to constantly tell people. It's not you, it's them. And don't allow their insecurities or their inability um, to stay focused, stay on task, to be on point, deter you from continuing the process. And then lastly, the third group is, let me get to the comments. So yeah, Yaz saying, yes, some people like a gatekeeper. It's so annoying. Yes, yes. And there are many people here that they've hired someone who's not qualified. They want that person to communicate and deal with. And that makes things very, very difficult. Very difficult. But you have to just remain persistent, vigilant. I don't think you should do anything you're not passionate about anything anyway. And so if you're passionate about it, you'll deal with the issues and the challenges. That's just how it is. If you're passionate about it, you'll deal with it. Like I said, 70 meetings for 3 clients. Okay. I am on the road, running back and forth all day, every different meetings with different people all the time. People are always, especially when I didn't have any clients, I was just doing, social media full time. Some consulting in the States, but like not a lot of stuff in country. People would always ask me, like, what are you doing over there? You're in meetings. Every time I talk to you, you're in a meeting. And they think that I'm making it up when I say I'm in a meeting. No, I am in meetings all the time. It's a constant part of what I'm doing. And I'm constantly trying to close new business, right? Meeting with NGOs, meeting with banks, telecom companies, individuals, just meeting with a lot of different folks. And so you run into a lot of these challenges through that process. And then the third type of person, so we talked about casual arrogance, folks who aren't qualified. And then the third is people, and they're very few, but they're so impactful that it makes up for the other two. And that's people who are more impressive than anybody you've ever worked with in the States or anywhere else you're from. And those people are the people that give you hope. And those people are the people that you must continue to keep in your circle. So whether they're your professional circle or your personal circle, you can bring them in your personal circle. Those are the people that will help you accelerate here. Okay. For example, one person that I met in those 70 meetings gave me 3 of my clients, right? So if it wasn't for that one person, I would not have any clients. Out of 70 meetings, I'd have 0 clients. But one person got me 3 clients, and that one person has helped me in a number of different ways. Increase my village visibility in a number of different ways. Is looking to work with me in a number of different other areas. And I would tell you right now, if in fact you meet those people, hold on to them. Continue to communicate with them and work with them as best as let me see if there's any comments on it. I have to look at the Instagram tab. Let's see, any questions, comments, thoughts? There's a lot of people jumping in and out of the Instagram. Traverse Culture says, that's how it be, keep it up. Thanks, Joe, for telling us about us. What's up, Traverse? And in the building, what's up, Kia? Kia Moonlight's in here. What's up, Kika Moonlight? In the Delta region of Nigeria. Who else do we have here on Instagram? I'm just looking at Instagram real quick. So yeah, but there are those really impressive people that you'll meet, and that will give you so much more motivation to keep going. So that's what you should do it really, is meeting with people to meet those people. I mean, for me, I've met a few of those actually exceptional people, but only one of them have brought me clients, and one of them has become a client. So some of those exceptional people are also really busy, and so sometimes it takes a while for them to be prepared to do business with you or to work with you. And so you have to be prepared for that as well, and just understand that will happen. So don't be discouraged by those folks that are I'm really busy and just not able to meet with you always, aren't always ready to move forward with you. Just continue to meet with them. So we've gone through the different kinds of people you can meet here. We've talked about the business experiences and business issues that you can run into. Lastly, I want to talk about personal relationships. And so Lenora has a good point here. Lenora said, have positive energy people in your circle. And you know something else that Lenora mentioned to me, which I know is something that I've always known, but I hadn't been practicing it. So I appreciate you reminding me of this, Lenora, when we met in Ghana, was if you hire people here, pop up on them. Do not let them know that you're coming. Don't let them know that you're coming. Just show up. Because that'll let you know how they really are when you're not around. Man, I was at the bank 2 weeks ago. I know the branch manager at that bank. When she is not there, it's chaos. It is chaos. When she's in there, it's less chaotic. It's still pretty chaotic, but it's less chaotic. I mean, I remember okay, so I went to the bank, the branch manager wasn't there, she was gone for the rest of the day. Do you know we had a line of 15 to 20 people and only one teller was at the window? The rest were in the back laughing, joking on their phones. We had people in line yelling at them and they're just looking up like, how dare you yell at me while I'm having fun over here with my coworkers and on the internet? Like, how dare you yell at me? And it was like arguing, and it was crazy. The very next day I came in, the branch manager was in there. You better believe the branch manager was in there. You better believe every single teller seat was filled, and there was someone in there. Those same people that the day before were standing in the back, pretending busy doing nothing. When the branch manager came, they were all seated at their seats. And the same thing is true when it comes to work on my house. I have a contractor and he has a number of people workers. And when he's not here, and they don't know that I'm here, I can hear them outside laughing and joking and doing nothing for hours at a time. And then I come outside, and guess what? They start getting to working. They start becoming busy all of a sudden. And so Lenora's advice to show up has come in handy on a number of occasions. And I will say I can vouch for that advice. So for those of you who plan to do business here, that is something I definitely recommend for you. Show up unannounced for sure. All right, Mr. London Boy seems to be surprised. He said, "Wow." Laura's laughing, and it's true. And I have many more examples too. So many more examples. Those are just a few. But people get complacent. I mean, just also think about this, right? Like, just think about any company you've ever worked for. Let's just think about this. When the manager or the boss is out of town, you know how people act, right? So it's no different here. It's just that I think a lot of people are severely underpaid here, so they're even more blatant about their ability to give zero Fs and not at all work when the manager or the boss is away. It's a part of the daily life here. You'll just find that. So you just need to ensure that if you're going to hire people, you need to show up and watch them and trust. Well, verify. I would say trust, but verify. I would say just verify. Then later build trust. Verify everything people say. Um, I have a caretaker who lives on my property, someone who I've known for 7 years. Family has known him for over 10 years. And money was sent to him for work to do on a car. And for the first time ever, which I know this is crazy, after all the work we spend and all the money we spend, I finally sat down with him and said, okay, you know what? Let's itemize everything you purchased. Itemize it all. How much did you purchase it for? What is it for? And what did you do to fix it, right? Because I don't really know cars, but I'm just like, okay, let's line item this out. He basically took um, like $50, which actually would have been useful to complete finishing the car, but because he used it, he asked for more money. And so the fact that he asked for more money and he took that money, um, I told them not to send more money. But they sent it anyway. And he's now used more money and asked for more money again. And so now I've verified and slowing build trust. But these are things that you're going to need to do. So definitely verify. Um, all right. So we talked about business issues. Let's move over to personal relationships. So, and a lot of what I've spoken about before applies to personal relationships too. Um, but there are three things that I can say in terms of personal relationships that I've noticed here. Number one, it takes time to build relationships with people in business. People want to do business with people they like, know, and trust. And especially here, they really want to get to know you. A lot of business is done through, I would say, nepotism or relationships that people know, even if it's not deserved. So you might as well build those relationships, even if you deserve it, right? Even if you deserve to win that business, those relationships anyway. And that's going to take time. That's going to take multiple meetings. That's going to take going to events that people throw. For instance, there was an event yesterday that was thrown by a local bank. I saw the managing director there, introduced myself again, saw the head of marketing there, spoke to him briefly. You want to ensure that you're continuing to meet with people and talk to people and get to know people over time. It's going to be really, really important. One. Two, this comes to more like dating. In this part of the world, specifically in West Africa, what I found is that people move very, very quickly in terms of relationships. They'll move very quickly to like the relationship stage, where many in the States, especially Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, tend to move a little bit slower, right? And tend to operate on a little bit more of a slower basis. Here, people move to "I love you" quickly, move to talk about marriage and children, and want to move in, and it moves very, very fast. Very fast. And if you're not careful, you may jump in without having the full details of a person. And why is that important? Because some people like to take advantage of people who don't know anybody. I'm a person who, I, for some reason, I think people think I'm gullible. I don't know if I look like a gullible person. I don't know if I come across as someone who think you can take advantage of. But it's kind of funny because people find out quickly that I'm not that kind of person. But it's good for, I guess, to look at it and for people to think you can try it, I guess, because that allows me to find out who you are really quickly. Um, so for me, it's been really important to slow roll things, get to know people, because you'll find out a lot over time. Especially if you're an honest person, people tend to be more honest, and then people tell you who they are. And you're gonna want to try to get to know people's previous history. It's gonna be really important. You move to a new city, you're meeting people you don't know. They have a history, and a lot of times, your history is an indicator of who you are and who you will be in the future, right? And so, if you can, try to learn as much as you can about those people who you are spending time with. So that means if these are people who are, you're building a personal friendship with, if you're building a relationship with, a romantic relationship with, take your time. And if you know other people who are local, who have your best interest at heart, it's always good to check with them on the local history of a person. Get people in common, especially meet people who you have people in common with. That's the ideal scenario. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to do the research on your own, and you're gonna have to trust that what they tell you is the truth, and that over time you'll figure it out and you'll learn. Um, Lenora says slower is usually better. Going back to business context, Mr. London Boy for life. That's why many people are skeptical about building back home. Exactly, you need to be there. Lenora also says, and look and listen more. So she wants to verify, look and listen more. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely want to look and listen more. You want to pay close attention to what people are saying, not just what they're saying, but what they're saying and doing consistently. But I always say there's three things that you need to pay attention to when you're allowing someone in your life. Are they saying the right things? Are they doing the right things? And are they doing the right things consistently? And the only way, if you know that the only way to know if they're doing the right things consistently is if you know them over time. So you have to slow roll it. I know that some people get into these whirlwind romances, or you meet some people, especially those who like to consume alcohol a lot. When you have a drinking buddy, everybody they love everybody when you drink with them. You're like, I love this person. It's so much fun to be around, but you don't really know that person. You just have all these emotions because you've been drinking with them all the time. Get to know people while you're sober. Get to know people over time. That's gonna be really, really important. I remember having a friend who's still a friend today, actually really cool people. But I didn't know how this person thought, didn't know who this person was. And I knew them for 4 years, only through parties and only while we were drunk. It was just really cool with each other. But we really didn't know each other until we had like our first sober conversation 6 years after we had met, which is crazy. Right. And so, and by the way, this isn't recent. This is like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But that was an interesting experience, right? To have a first conversation with somebody, have a sober conversation after all that time knowing them, not really know who they were. So it's really, really important to give yourself time when you're getting to know someone, and also best to find who have relationships with those people to help you understand stuff. And even if they don't have relationships with those people, they have relationships with other people who may know about them. It's going to be really imperative and really important. The last thing you want to be is the only person in the room who doesn't know what's going on. I know of a situation and a circumstance where there is a person who is married. They are habitually being cheated on, and everyone knows it. And the person who is married to that person kind of knows it, but has no idea to the extent that it's happening. And the people who know, the person considers them a friend, right? Like considers them friends. Like they're in close proximity on a daily basis. They spend time together. They've been to each other's house, and those people know what is happening with them being cheated on, and will not tell them. Imagine, right? Now, I've been told by other people locally that, you know, even if you did tell them, they're not going to leave them anyway, so why would they tell them? At the end of the day, they'll just be mad at you for telling them, so they choose to stay out of it. That's the response that I've been given by multiple people who've grown up here. So that to me sometimes can be a culture thing. But also, some people just decide not to say anything. They just choose not to say anything. Now, people that I know in the States, if they see something like that, they may pull up FaceTime video and show them right there, like, hey, look what I'm seeing right now. I need you to see this. And so I think it's really important, right? I think it's really, really important to just understand people's history and take your time. So to recap, right, we talked about the different people who move here and their intentions, right? Running, subpar elsewhere. People here for the right reasons, and people here for sexual. The second topic we talked about today was business experience, right? We talked about casual arrogance. We talked about folks not being qualified, and we talked about really impressive people. And then the third area we talked about was personal relationships. People who move quickly, people who try to take advantage, and people who have a previous history that you don't know about. And so again, for the different people, if you want to decide you're going to bring them in your life, ask a simple question: what they do and why they do it. For the business experiences, be persistent, have a thick skin, pop up unannounced. Personal relationships, do your research. Make sure you do your best to get to know the people who you're dealing with in a personal relationship. And as much as you can, try to find out from other people who they are, what they're about. And also give yourself time to get to know them. So, Mr. Boy Life for Life is saying that sad man. I think that's speaking specifically to that person who's married who has no idea that the person is cheating on them. And then let's see, Jerry Campbell is tapping in from Barbados. What's up, Jerry? I had a friend who just spent a couple of different months, a couple times in Barbados. So nice. Thoughts before we move on. Let me see if there's anything on Instagram I'm missing. There's a lot of people on Instagram jumping in and joining on Instagram. Any questions, comments? What's up, Melvin? There's a few people on here that I know personally. People jumping in and out of the Instagram. All right, cool. Any other questions, comments, thoughts on anything that we've been talking about so far before we bring this to a close? Anything? All right, guys. Well, okay, Jerry Campbell's in Barbados for the week for visiting for the holidays. All right, cool. Well, that's it for now, guys. I will call it a wrap. If you guys found this helpful, make sure you share this with anybody you know. I want to thank you guys all for joining. With that, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you all on the next video.